Hey everyone, how are you doing? What's going on, lunatic? Good to see you. Good emote. All right. Hope you're doing all right. Okay. So last time, let me turn this music down a little bit. That's a lot of it. That's good. All right. Last time, we left off working on magic systems. I think we got pretty far. I think the magic system is doing okay. I did, after the stream, go ahead and finish up all of the other weapons. I guess prior to this stream. So all of the weapons are now have the right things, and I can cast all my spells again. I think they're pretty good. It's all predictable, right? Which is good. There's a couple things like those little particles go for a little bit too long because it waits until those are done. But the problem is if I that's kind of what's pacing the switch to the other player. So I don't necessarily want to make it shorter. For example, if I'm doing something like ice here, I don't really want it to be shorter. I want to cast ice, and I want ice to hang out long enough to get the impact, but it is a little bit long, so I'll think about that. That's something that's easily kind of tweakable, so I'm not too worried about it right now. I obviously have a bunch of bugs here, but I'll work out the bugs as we go. The code is much more manageable for Magic, so I'm ultimately very happy with it. So not too terrible here. Everything's looking decent. With that, I think what I'm going to do, so I have this system that essentially lets me, there's one, I guess, before I get to that, there is one little thing I want to do, and that's essentially develop this, or figure out what the issue is with my attacking spells. Because essentially right now when I use like Explosion Mark, I end up in a case where my little box thing goes all over the screen. I have no idea why. Oh, I'm attacking with the wrong weapon here. It's alright. So I'm gonna work on that first, I think, just because that needs to work. Pretty soon. I really want to, before Christmas, have a playtest. And I think I'm close. I mean, it's playable right now, right? But it's fun. It's fun to come figure out and generate weapons, and kind of see what you get. But I need a couple things. I need like a screen that pops up and tells you what you unlocked, so you can see that. Maybe even with a preview of it. And then I need this preview screen over here to just be a lot better. I think this preview screen, you'd essentially be able to have, a picture of it and everything else. Cool. I think it actually is using Vulkan right now, but I can probably not a big deal. I will probably end up building for compatibility. I don't have anything that's too graphics intensive, so I will probably do whatever's most compatible. And I'm using like the Godot shader language, so everything should convert reasonably. Nothing's directly using DirectX 12, I don't think. So should be okay there. So yeah. So things I want to do today. Today I want to fix my attack magic, and kind of what I'll buy a sword so I can show you what I mean by that. Want to fix my attack magic. Want to make this little weapon screen better. I probably want to be able to cycle through, like instead of just having all the weapons, I want to arrange them by type, right? Because that would just be a lot cleaner and a lot easier to go. And then I want a little preview with the picture and all the stats. I'm picturing something probably simple, like I'm really starting to model this after like Diablo 2, right? I think you can have a simple picture with the stats, make it super simple, and have something decent there. And then whenever you win, I think I want it to show, oops, did I switch weapons? It's fine. Okay. When you win, I want it to show that new weapon you got. So that's it. And those weapons, I think the way I have it right now, I got to think about this, but the way I have it right now, even though this is kind of like a roguelike, you would keep titles and weapons. They would persist through playthroughs. So like right now, all those weapons are from prior runs, and you just kind of keep them. You wouldn't like keep them as owned, but you keep them available so you could buy them. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. I'm kind of going back and forth because while that's nice and everything, because if you like unlock a really cool weapon, I need like some incentive to clear your inventory. That's the only thing. So maybe you can sell the rights to buy them or something for extra gold. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Yeah, that's the only thing is it's hard to get hits in here. I'm probably gonna die. Oh, interesting. That was weird. Huh. So if I'm... Okay. That's all right. We'll see. What I'm going to do here, I think, is I'll cast Haste first, which I think will let me cast this first. Because I want to show this problem first, so you kind of know what the problem is that I'm dealing with. All right. So casting Haste first should give me a little more speed, and hopefully it'll let me... Oh my gosh, I'm not waiting. Okay, hold up. Something broke. Oh, something's clearly broken here. My debugger is broken. Okay, I'm going to assume this is just like a one-off error. This has been running a while. I've got 108,000 errors. I'm going to assume they're not urgent things I need to fix. Huh, interesting. Interesting. Hopefully that's not a problem. I think I was changing some code, hot swapping code, so that's probably why. Sometimes that crashes some things. Very strange. But yeah, let me walk through what the problem is here. Yeah, it'll clear here in a second. It'll clear automatically whenever when it runs. Yeah, we're just gonna ignore those. At least I thought it would. But it has not yet. Oh, yeah, it's just loading here. Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured it wasn't anything major here. I'm in 4.3, but I do feel like, actually I feel like 4.2 was a little more stable. But it was around longer. So I'm hoping with some fixes, 4.3 becomes the better one here. All right. So I've got to try to get behind her so I can use my explosion shot. I also changed the way the camera behaves a little bit, and I'm not sure I like it. It drops down to like floor level when you're going here, so it doesn't modify with the terrain. But whenever you're on your character, it goes like above the character a little bit. I need to work on that. I don't really like that. Like that is super annoying. So that's all easily fixable though. There's just a few variables I can mess around with to change that. All right, let's see if this works. So you see how the square like circled in from over here? It gets wild, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. The code that triggers between attacking and doing that is actually the same. It ends up at the same like cycle, which is not a very good function. Like I really don't like this function. And I already have the bug kind of written here. For magic, the square goes all over the screen. If this is really simple, so the way this works is I send a signal when I get here to turn the hitbox on. So the hitbox, like the code for the hitbox, incredibly simple. I have my hitbox target, which basically just becomes visible or not visible based on hitbox on. So it's display. I have the size. When this gets resized, it just recenters it. That way if you move the screen, it recenters. And then I have, when you're complete, hide the box. As far as the target box here, this is the one that spins. Oh, you know what? This shouldn't matter, but it might be as simple as this. Just moving the preset to the middle because I'm changing the size. Again, this shouldn't matter. But maybe that's it. Okay. We might have just solved the problem. If I'm changing the size or if I'm centering it and then changing the size, like that could for sure cause issues. But I'm not sure why it works in attack and not in magic. Pretty weird. Might just be the state of something. Huh, kind of strange. Sorry, I'm getting Teams messages. It's too late for Teams messages. Okay. Let's see. It's one of the kind of weird things about working. So most people I work with are in Seattle, right? And I usually work on Seattle time, which means I get off work pretty late. It's a little bit weird because like I start my day like a little bit earlier. Hopefully you can't hear it then if you're getting PTSD from it. I start my day a little bit earlier, but I typically work on Seattle time, so like I get off fairly late. But like what's like midnight for me, for example, is like 10 p.m., which is late, but it's not too bad. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. But no, personally, I kind of like the notification sound for Teams for some reason. Yeah, luckily my phone just vibrates. I don't have notification sounds on my phone. All right, let's see if this fixes this. But yeah, I hear you. I don't use it for anything personal, so. Oh, interesting. That was weird. Yeah, I get it. When I worked for Boeing, I worked with a lot of teams in India, Poland, and it would be like that. Okay, I think what's happening is maybe I'm not resetting the size for some reason in spells. Because that worked. That stayed in the center for sure. Except new size didn't get reset. Which is strange. Again, same exact function. So here I send adjusted hit chance. Okay, a couple things here. Hit chance. How is hit chance calculated? Hit chance equals calculate chance to hit. Character and stored target. Okay. This should be new size, so it's not hitbox on or hitbox border. What is the thing here? It's on resize, which is hitbox size. So the size looked okay. Okay, hitbox size right here. Hit target. Times 2 minus I. So hit target is 100, I think. Where do I calculate hit target at? Let's hit target value. Interesting. Where do I use that? That's interesting. Okay, so there's hit target value. Oh, that's the value when I trigger it. It saves that value. Okay, so yeah, my hit target's just locked in at 100, which is fine. So that's 100. Am I not resetting I? I do reset I right there for every attack. I wonder if I'm not. Wonder if my wait for animation's not triggering. No, it should be. Because it's going back to the top. I don't like how I do this either, the wait for animation thing. Essentially what happens is it's waiting until I get back to the run state because the the animation tree like goes through everything, right? Again, I don't like how I do this. I really should send a signal at the end to say I'm done to kick me out of this. But essentially waits till the next animation. And depending on what animation it goes into, depends on where it takes me, if that makes sense. Which I'm not thrilled about, but it's okay for now. Okay. So I'm in the yes, I'm looping state, which I think is just waiting on the weapon to, or the spell to finish. Which is fine. Okay. Yeah, it was looping like that whole time. Okay, this explosion mark. Okay, that's because it's setting that. I probably don't need that yes, you're looping print anymore. Okay. Yeah, the only weird thing is here. I plus equals quick time speed. But why would the box be going backwards? To me, this code looks fairly simple for hitboxes. There's no reason it should do anything weird. I guess print I mean, that's the easy way to do this, right? Print I and see if I is behaving as intended. Let me get rid of the yes, you're looping. I think I had one for India as well. Nope, I got rid of that one already. All right, let's try this again. And I'll watch I closely. All right. Yeah, killer. Sorry, I think you're probably gone now. But hey, good to see you, Francisco. Let me know if you're still here, though, and I'll answer your question. Sorry, I wasn't watching. My vertical chat goes to a completely different place. So it's interesting. You know, it's not as easy as the rest of my chats, which all get combined. All right. Yeah, the question was how do you troubleshoot, basically. And it's hard. I think troubleshooting, like, this is something I've noticed at work too, right? Troubleshooting is like a skill. It's really hard to teach, right? It's like you just got to think through the problem. And usually, like, in my head, I kind of say, okay, this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And usually I try to start from one end or the other, just depending on what the problem is, and just walk my way through that. Like, if, for example, usually it's from the end back. So if, like, here, you know, like if I'm troubleshooting that little ball or getting into this state, I'll walk from when I cast magic backwards to say, okay, what triggers the magic? Now what triggers this state? What triggers that state? I'm going to set for attack to basically 0. Attack 0. And so it's a little bit challenging for sure to really get into like how to troubleshoot. But I think it's the same no matter what you're doing. Like troubleshooting rockets, you're troubleshooting cars, troubleshooting game code. I think the like troubleshooting skill is pretty much transferable between all of that. It's really interesting because like a lot of things, I at work, you know, I may not, like, I get called in for different things, right? Whatever. We're working on something as a team, trying to figure something out. And so I'll join their troubleshooting sessions. And I don't understand everything, right? I'm not like an expert in everything. But usually I can provide some insight, and like where I help, I think, is just walking through the problem and trying to understand what the next step is to go troubleshoot. And it is interesting that it's really kind of a rare skill, I think, troubleshooting. My dad was a mechanic. I think really helped me learn troubleshooting. But I don't think it's a very common skill. So weird. So you see how that's going backwards? So I can pause this really quickly. Let's go look at the I values there. See what was happening. I's are all over the place. Okay. These are all linear. Huh, interesting. Okay, I think I see what's happening. I think I'm running 2 loops of the same function at the same time. Like, this is all linear, this is fine, except if you notice here, right? Like, it's all doubled up. The only way that'd be doubled up is if I was running 2 of them. So I'm triggering the spell twice, and then from here, so this is another method, right, for troubleshooting. Just go look at the data. Here you can see I go from 210, right? And I go into the second attack. It never stops. It just keeps counting up. So I have 2 instances of this running for some reason. One of them has the right data to progress and one doesn't. So what I should do is say, hey, where do I trigger this attack, this spell? And you can see explosion mark here. It's all twice. Where do I trigger this spell? So I can go back to the start of it. Okay, so I've made it got triggered twice. I can see where I am triggering the spell at the beginning to make that not happen. Interesting. Okay, so here's where I was moving, or the enemy was moving. Here I'm casting magic. Switch action set to combo control, so I only enter the state once. But here you see how it says element 1, element 1? That means all the way back here, and it says triggering attack. All the way back here. So what I can do is I can go look at where it reports the element and trigger an attack. And I can follow that back and maybe find where it's triggering twice. So in damage, okay? So here, the supply status is triggered twice. Okay. That's helpful. So then I can see where I go apply status. If it's twice. Let's see. Okay. This is interesting. So this... Okay, wait. And apply status. Oh, that's pretty interesting, actually. I have a function named the same as a Boolean. Does that even work? Okay, I'm going to change the function. Because I don't like them being the same. So I'll change this to instead of apply status, I'll say I just needed a thesaurus. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a good idea. Inflict status. That sounds good. Line 61. So there are 2 places this can happen. So I think it's worth looking at, is there ever a point like where I would run into both of these? And I think they happen in different ones. One happens in magic hit and one happens in regular hit. So no, I think in this case I wouldn't trigger both of them at the same time. Right? Or would I? Actually, potentially, because I am doing a physical attack when it's kind of showing up here. I think a good question, like a good question, would be if I cast a regular spell, does it trigger twice? Let's test that. Oh, interesting. Okay. I guess actually, do I have any prints in here? I can just add a couple prints and I can say, I'll do it down here. Print magic hit. And then I'll do physical hit. And then I'll know. That'll tell me if I'm doing both. Physical hit. I'm expecting I'm just doing physical hits. Which means on hit is probably getting triggered twice. So let's keep backing up. So attacked target is probably getting synced twice. Because I am triggering attack. Okay, that makes sense. So if I go back to my attack, I'm just going to do a little looking before I get one more test in here. So if I do attack target, or is it attacked target? There's only one place this emits, and it's here. This is one long function. Yeah, this is confirm attack. Is this within the loop? Could I be attacking twice here? No, because we know the loop. Okay, yeah, actually we can go further back because we know the loop actually is triggering twice here. Okay, so it's back before this, which is good, which means confirm attack is triggering twice. So then let's figure out where confirm attack comes from. It comes from... interesting. Is it only here? No, because I'm never in that state with magic, so it must be from here. Confirm attack. Okay, so casting. Interesting. This is a little bit of spaghetti code. Interesting. Okay. Let's go to casting here. Casting magic. Okay. Do any of these go to confirm attack? No, just attack complete. What was the function? Oh, casting. Okay. Actually, let me check that real quick, because I might be getting confused. Okay, confirm attack goes to this. Here, do I emit anything called confirm attack? No. So that's not right, actually. I need to go to attack.confirm attack. And it's not in here. So it's actually, I actually know it's in the damage. The damage one. So I'm skipping ahead a little bit just on what I know. Okay, so it goes to attacked. Okay, hold up. This here. Trigger attack. Okay, so let's go to trigger attack. Okay, yes, which is here. Yes, okay. So, which is here. So it's inflicts test. That is walk all the way back. Is there some sort of loop there that I'm catching? Okay. I think there is a little bit of a loop, but there are different status effects between like the magic. Like the magic basically triggers this using a status effect. And it's a different status effect than this. Let's run it real quick I'm gonna make sure real quick that it's not some kind of physical versus magic hit type thing. I don't think it is, but you never know. I really got to break all this spaghetti code. It's just a big old plate of spaghetti. I got a little bit signal happy, I think. I think I was like, oh yeah, signals, that's great. And I really wasn't paying attention to like taking in data from one. I wasn't, I guess the one thing I like wasn't following very well was keeping all of my functions like self-contained, right? I was allowing a lot of functions to kind of go back and forth and talk to each other using signals, which it's okay. Like, yeah, they can talk to each other, but I think I could have done a lot better. Yeah, basically just creating signal chains back and forth rather than having like a central node that kind of controlled it. It's like I'm distributing the control of a specific function all over the place. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I'm gonna. Okay, good. I got lucky. Yeah, I don't think I did that very well. Which, like, it's not too late to go update some things, but. So yeah, okay. So now we can go look at that. Let's see what happened here. It is too late to apologize. It's too late. Too late. All right. So it was 2 magic hits. 4 magic hits? No, this is literally Waterloo cherry limeade, 0% sparkling water. Okay. So that's the earliest indication I have is it's on magic hit. Hey, you're not supposed to drink on the job, lunatic. How can I trust any of your QA tonight? You got to keep all this spaghetti code straight. It is almost a holiday. No, I get it. I get it. That's good. You've earned that mark to go ahead and buy your 100 proof and not get questioned about it. Yay. I think this is where it's coming from initially, is this attacking within magic. So let's see. Let's start with that signal, because that will directly do it. And that's here under trigger effects. So is trigger effects triggering twice? Okay. Right. Agree. What I really would like to do is create a system where almost everything is controlled by like my battle control up here, right? These state machines. And it calls on these nodes basically for data. I think that would work better, or for function calls, right? Basically for to do something, but all of the control is up here. That's what I would like to do. I'm not quite there yet. That's what I'd really like to do. Or in here, or for some reason, I guess, animation nodes. It's called a control for a reason. Agree. Not quite there yet. This was This was spaghetti code hacked together, make something work, and then when it doesn't work, apply band-aids. Yeah, yeah. Agreed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think I'm getting a lot better at coding, to be honest. It's been good. All right, so I think this is this. I can confirm that by just adding a print here that says like triggering effects. Yeah, they've come a long way. And check this out. Class name. Class name. No class name, but we're going to add one. Class name. We'll call it owned. Man, I agree. Like, once you start actually doing things the right way, like, it's so hard to go back. And then, like, I see my old stuff, even a couple months old stuff, and it's just, oh, it makes me cringe. It's so bad. But it's okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, I don't think, one thing is I don't think the animation's running twice. Current casting state is type. Where's current casting state? Oh, here's the good thing about this one. I'm not using it. So there you go. We're just removing lines of code. It's gone. Look at that. We're down to 19,007 lines of code. I've bounced around that 19,000 number. I did come down below it. I think when we ended the stream last time, I was at 18,999. And I've gained 8 more somehow. Gotta get that number down. And it's gone. All right. So let's see if this triggers twice. I also need some fun ones. Like, one of the best parts I think of like Diablo 2, like getting weapons, are like seeing stats and effects that you've never seen before. Because that's just fun. I gotta think about a couple things like that, how to add those. What I want to add. Oh yeah, for sure, right. And I mean, this is obviously not like, I mean, this is not the RPG part of it, but it is fun. Exactly. And it's fun. Like, it's I've just messed around and I coded this, right? But it's still fun, like trying to get the hits. Okay, trying to get good weapons and things. And there's like a rarity system. So like some of my weapons I've generated, because they end up here, right? Like Sage's short sword of power. That's cool. And you can come down here. This is like an uncommon one. The Storm short sword of power, right, is also uncommon. Tidal Spear of Vitality is divine rarity. I have 10 different rarity levels. And they're all based on like the way this works. I actually like this a lot. So I have this weapon generation script. And so the way it does it is every possible like effect that you can roll has a rarity associated with it. For every effect, it runs through and it rolls a dice. Essentially, I mean, basically, it generates a random number, right? And if your number is greater than that, right, or less, I guess less than or equal to the rarity, right, it'll add it, and then it adds the rarity, the difference, the delta, I think from 10,000, maybe it's from 1,000. I'm trying to remember here. It's from 10,000. So it adds the delta to this sum, and then based on your full sum, it generates a rarity score. So if you like roll one of these top ones, like poison, burn, bleed, or attack range, because I mean attack range is pretty OP, because you can stay back further and still do damage, or speed, all very strong. If you roll any of these, you just have a super rare weapon because those are very rare things. Or I guess any of these, right? So it's pretty cool. And then it adds a title. It adds a title based on the rarest one you get. So if you get a poison effect and like a luck, right? You'll get a venom. And then like for the luck one, your luck does come into play. So like the higher your luck, the lower score you have to roll. Or I guess not the lower score you have to roll. The fewer options. It's like you roll between 1 and 10,000. But if you have 1,000 luck, you only roll between 1 and 9,000. So you essentially have a 10% better chance. It's not really a 10% better chance, but you have 10% fewer selections, right? And so it's fun. So I've got some accessories and stuff I added that just give you better luck. And it'll be fun because I'm sure people will make builds. People as in myself will make builds just to deal with luck here, right? And drive that number up. It is pretty fun though. I do see something here. Adjusted target chance. I don't know what adjusted chance, I guess. Target chance is fine. Equals 10. We'll say max rarity minus character dot luck. Max rarity doesn't exist yet, does it? Oh, it does. Max. Am I using max rarity? Is that a constant? Oh shoot. Yeah, I'm using it somewhere else. So this should be like max. This should be like base luck. And I'm sure there's gonna be something I have to change around to balance, right? Now I can replace all of these with adjusted target chance. Cool. Sorry, I just saw those issues and thought that's terrible. So I wanted to go ahead and fix them. I don't like these nested ifs either. But it's not that bad. It's okay. All right. Anyway. Got a little sidetracked. Okay, so let's look at this. Except for the tone else. That one else. Let me find it. Talking about this? Or is it this elif? Not quite sure I'm following there. I probably could do something better than these nested ifs. What I probably should say is if... Hold up. Okay, sounds good. What I might do here is say, like, if this, then apply weapon stat. Yes. Apply weapon stat. Oh, the for loop? This one? Ah, that is worth changing. Because if I change the 10,000, because I'm trying to like actually balance some stuff, I'm gonna have a problem if that stays as 10,000. So Good catch. Good catch. Cool. Yeah, so I think here what I would do is I would say around line 169. Oh, this one. On the 4. Does it support continue? I think so. Yeah. I see what you're saying. So you're saying, say, if not continue. Ah, that makes so much sense. Yeah, it's just a guard. Yes. Cool, that makes sense. And break afterwards. Okay, let me test this and just make sure it's working real quick. So yeah, essentially flip that. If I'm outside the luck range, just continue. It should go back to the for loop. Yeah, I do want to run through all of them. It needs to, because you can apply multiple stats. It basically just rolls for every stat. Some of the, I mean, those stats are honestly kind of rare. Like, you've got to roll pretty good to get most stats, except for like increased attack. So, like in most cases, you only are getting like 1 or 2 stats, unless you have like a really good roll. I've never had anything more than like 3 or 4, even with maxing my luck out. Well, not maxing it out, but making it super high. Oh, I left unarmed? That's okay. Cool. I do need to shorten that. I need to probably make that... Ooh, okay. Okay, good. Should be able to get this kill. Good. Okay. So I unlocked the Icy Spear of Shadows. Ooh, that sounds interesting. What's the Icy Spear of Shadows? Cool. I mean, that's a pretty rare one, actually. But I think that's normal. I don't think I actually changed anything. It's just attack evasion, ice, and water affinities. And this is like a level 1 weapon, which is why everything kind of sucks. Let's look at the rarity on it, though. I bet it was actually pretty rare. Icy, and then I should like change the something about it when it's more rare. So this was a divine weapon. Yeah, it was pretty rare. Nice. Okay. That looked pretty good, though. It didn't apply stats for everything, so that's what I wanted to make sure of. Cool. And let's see. Actually, I can probably do the same thing here. Right? I can say if stat name, if it's an affinity, right? Okay, so if it's an affinity, I want the prefix applied. So the way I could do this, I could say first just if titles applied, continue, right? Otherwise, this. And then I should say if prefix applied, continue. And then I can do this. If essentially if it's an affinity, go ahead and apply that. Cool. I think that works pretty well. Much easier to read there. Sweet. Feel pretty good about that. Okay, back to what I was dealing with here. I got so sidetracked. Let me I'll try it again. I also need to clear all my extra things. In debugging, I've generated so many weapons. Yeah, I think part of it's too is I'm starting to recognize bad code, right? So like when I see my code, I know it's bad code and I can fix it quickly, which is super helpful. So I think it's like for a long time, I think I just wasn't like I didn't know a lot of the I guess paradigms or the standards. So it was let's throw things together and make it work. But I'm learning a lot there about recognizing what good code looks like, and then I don't have to think about it as much. I think once you have standards, the nice thing is you don't have to think about it as much, right? When you have standards, which I guess is the like, for example, we're developing non-safety critical. We have some non-safety critical systems, right? We are not required in a non-safety critical system to follow a standard. However, we do. I think a big part of it, which I'm reinforcing here, is that it keeps you from having to think too hard. Otherwise, you've got to think, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do that? Which, okay, if you're dealing with professional software developers, right? Hopefully they've got kind of they've internalized these things. This is so hard to hit from the front. I need to increase my accuracy probably. It should not be this hard to get the first hit on. I ended up dying 6 health at a time. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's still doing the thing. Yeah, the only thing I disagree with, right? So standard, yeah, I agree. Standards essentially is you have a root cause corrective action, and then you go implement it in the standard, because that way nobody has to ever find your problem again. I think so. In aerospace, like we're required to follow standards in a lot of things, and a lot of those standards are based on like DO 178 or some other standard for processes, right? That tells you, hey, go develop a standard. This is what it looks like. The problem is, in a lot of those cases, you would never run into the same issue again. It was this one-off thing. So you have this big bloated process. I think like supplier management is one example where I've seen many times like people go take like the draft statement of work, right? Take that draft statement of work, you go through and you run into a problem. You're with a supplier and that supplier is not delivering. You say, hey, we didn't get certificates of conformance with this, right? How did we not put certificate of conformance in the style? Go add it to the standard statement of work. Fine, that one's good. However, there's a lot of like quality clauses and things that you might not necessarily need. So you go add all these things to the template and you end up with like a 200-page statement of work template that people are expected to go through and like clear stuff, when in reality, not like 90% of your procurement is going to need like a 10-page statement of work. But you've got to go through all this bloat. And so I think in like, specifically in my experience with like large aerospace companies, you end up with like all of this work just sorting through stuff that doesn't make sense, or you just write the SOW and include it. The SOW is statement of work, right? Or you just write that SOW and include it. And so your supplier gets it and they're like, if I'm going to even read this 200-page statement of work, I'm bidding an extra $1 million, right? And I'm going to tell them, yeah, I've got to go develop all these standards. I have to develop these processes. I have to prove to you I'm following these processes. I have to comply with all these quality clauses. So I think eliminating a lot of that like makes sense. So I don't necessarily like, I don't think it's a great idea to go like populate standards with every problem you run into, but in a lot of cases it does help. Or having like some kind of, I don't know. I think it's so hard to like lesson learned databases to me are so useless most of the time, just because nobody's going to comb through like a lesson learned database, you know? There's definitely a balance. There's a balance. You've got to figure out what works, what doesn't. And you want to extract those lessons learned so nobody deals with the same mistakes that you made, right? But at the same time, you don't want to have to deal with that every time you try to do anything. You don't want to add so much bloat that you can't get anything done. I started dropping frames too. I think it was tired of me talking and saying wants me to just code. Yeah, I hear you. I think just if you have a 500-page standard, no one's going to read it, right? If no one reads it, you're not getting the benefit out of it. So it's got to be manageable. I think there's a fine line. It's a hard balance between a manageable standard and making sure you're not encountering problems that you've, quote, fixed, right? You definitely don't want to encounter the same problem over and over and over and over and over again in your company. At the same time, having a 500-page standard, nobody's going to read it and it won't work. So there's a fine line there. I'm not sure why I'm dropping frames. I'm fairly confident I'm running normal latency. Yeah, I'm running normal latency on YouTube. That's unfortunate. I've been doing good the last couple days. I might cut my my vertical stream. 5 vertical stream folks. I'm gonna see if that helps. Should help, theoretically, right? It did. Yeah, it's stabilizing now. Cool. All right. So now let's look at this. I should have gone back. Sorry about my tangent there. Oh, very, very interesting. Yeah, I do know the drops happen on my side. I can see I have a visual that shows me how many frames I'm dropping on my end. And I've dropped 1,535 frames. So definitely on my side. I'm just not sure why. Which it could just be the processing on my graphics card. But I'm literally looking at text, right? There's not really that much going on. Actually, let me do this. I can go check the performance over here. Like my CPU is fine. Oh, Ethernet is... My Ethernet throughput is really strange. That's weird. My GPU is at like 46%. So my GPU I think is fine. I don't think it has to do with like encoding, my video encoding, though I am using 46% of my GPU to just encode the stream, which is interesting. Actually, I'm curious, if I start streaming this vertical one, does that get impacted? No, so interesting. And my Ethernet, it did spike my Ethernet when I did that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's like a huge hit to my Ethernet whenever when I stream vertically as well. I'll monitor it. Hopefully it's not a problem. This was interesting. I am triggering multiple effects here. You can see that, but I think that's because I have 2 magic hits here. And I'm actually only triggering effects once here. So somewhere between triggering effects and magic hit, I'm actually triggering it twice. So let me go to triggering effects. Here, right? I think it's the attacking signal. Is that right? Does that trigger the... No, wait. Yes. Is that right? Let me look at spawn emitters. I wonder if I have this twice. Okay. Generate emitters. Should only be sending one attacking signal. Okay, let me see where that attacking signal goes here. Multiple places. I'm specifically looking inside damage. Okay, here. So that triggers to on magic hit, which is getting triggered twice. There's a magic hit here. Interesting. Which I have 2 characters. It's possible that... Okay, hold up. Let me try this. Let me try this as active player. So what if I had and character equals active player? Like what could be happening? And probably actually almost definitely is happening. Okay. I do see what's happening. So essentially every time I send that signal, that connection goes to every player's magic hit, like damage node, right? Then the problem is that every player's damage node is actually going this. I didn't have a check to make sure that this damage node that I'm intending to go to, which I do send along with the signal, actually is going to the right person. So if I had this would essentially filter it, which is the same as I have this on my regular hit, which didn't have a problem, right? Which, let's do this. Just to make these the same. Okay. Now those are the same. So that should fix the problem. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. I don't feel good about dropping all these frames. Kind of wild. It didn't look like it was a GPU issue. But yeah, kind of weird. We are having a freeze. I wish my internet wasn't so susceptible to weather, but I get it. I get it. It's hard. I was in Seattle last week, and they had like 60-mile-an-hour winds, which are pretty normal here in Oklahoma. But like everybody lost power and internet and everything else, and that's wild to me. So I actually feel pretty lucky, I think, here. Like our infrastructure, it's Oklahoma, so I mean they're not great, right? But in wind, our infrastructure is pretty good. Now in ice, which we're going to be running into, our infrastructure is not good. So yeah, it's a problem. We'll see how that goes. All right, I feel pretty good about this though. All right, let's see. Here we go. I broke it. I broke it, and you can see it did trigger, still triggered twice. Yeah, I broke it because it never made it past. Oh, it did make it past magic. It did say magic hit. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. So I triggered effects a lot. Okay, but that's okay. It still triggered it twice here. Man, yeah, this was going crazy. I'm curious. Let me make sure I'm actually sending on that attacking. Make sure I'm actually sending the right active player. Attacking, yeah, character and active magic. That is accurate. Let's see. So I'm saying if character equals active player, which character would be the same here? Oh, am I not defining character? I think I am. Yeah, self.getParent, that is correct. But really, honestly, really, I shouldn't be. It's not that. Okay, a couple things here. Yeah, it's not. It's not passing this because I'm filtering out the first character, but really I need to be sending my target, not my character. Which, okay. Okay, a couple things. I don't want this. The filter I want to do is this. Right? Yeah. Okay. I do want to send it to all damage nodes and then filter out if they're not within the target of the spell, because some spells can attack multiple people. All right, so that's not actually my problem. Huh. Okay. Back to the drawing board a second. So what is the problem? Why am I... Okay, so I would be triggering this twice, but what I need to check is, am I triggering this twice? Okay, so I might actually not be going as far back as I thought. I am triggering a lot of effects still there. But that could be effects triggered, which comes from my global thing here, which come from my animations here. I could, let me check my animation tree. Under sword. Let's see, so I got casting sword 3 and then spin down. So let me make sure that among those, I only have one. Yeah, I'm only triggering one effect. I'm not triggering a casting sword 3. Make sure low jump or jump low, I'm not triggering any casting effects. Nope. Make sure in spin down, I am. Only triggering one. Yep. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Okay, let's try this again. I do think when I have the most luck in terms of like dropped frames, I reset my computer right before the stream. I didn't do that today. That may have been a mistake. May have been a mistake. My bitrate's staying pretty good though now, I think. All right, let's check. All right. So, oops, I missed. Of course. Gotta focus up. I might need some kind of visual indicator that I'm starting. That is kind of hard to lock in. Yeah, so it's still doing that thing, of course. I haven't really changed anything. Let's look at the indicators. Still triggering twice, of course. Okay. So it has triggering effects once here. And magic hit once. Miss magic. Miss magic. What is miss magic? Interesting. But basically if I miss, it prints out miss magic. And I did that the first time. But then it triggered again. It still triggered attack. Interesting. And then it actually triggered several more effects. Why would it trigger more effects? So let's follow that back. What else can trigger? Honestly, trigger an effect should happen exactly once. Yeah, triggering effects should happen exactly once when that animation triggers. So something is pushing me back into trigger effects. It should only happen when the global trigger spell effects comes out. And obviously it's just happening multiple times. Let me also check start to see where that is. Sequence equals start and attack. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because this is already triggering more than once. So let's look real quick back at my animation tree and make sure. So I'm using a sword. Let's look real quick at the animation tree for this. This animation tree is nasty. It's so bad. So the reason it's like this, just walk through this, is essentially every time that button goes through, it's directing you between these nodes. So like for sword, it just essentially directs you between these nodes, and depending on what button you press, you go to different ones. So I usually press A, which is melee start vertical, and then I hit X, which is melee middle double slash. So that the key would be to make sure neither of those has, I'm almost positive already, that neither of those has any sort of trigger effects on them. No. Which means, I think what that means is I'm triggering my animation, like my other animation multiple times. In here. I'm not sure that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's do this. Just to make sure that that's the case, let's go ahead and print animation triggered, comma, I'm gonna say get parent, and I think that would take me to which character it's being driven by. So that should tell me where the signal's coming from. Very interesting here. Test this out. Man, I'm so hesitant to start playtesting until I have all the bugs. I think that's a mistake. Like, I think I'm actively making a mistake here. It's like my hesitancy to start playtesting before I resolve my bugs is, I know there's bugs. I have things to work on. Why do I need new tickets to work on if I already have tickets to work on? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think where playtesting would be useful, even if I'm not collecting a ton of data, is just, is this fun, right? Like, are you having a good time? What would you change? Like, what would be more fun? What do you wish was a function? That I could probably go ahead and start like almost immediately, right? Even without like a ton of sound effects and other stuff. And that I should start pretty quickly. Okay. So all from Aria. Interestingly, triggering effects actually was triggered before I triggered the effect. Oh no, that makes sense. Really, I should flip these to make sure every time it reports it before it triggers it. But it's like it sent it the signal twice. Interesting. I wonder if I have two connections. Like, am I just, is this that simple? Do I just have two connections to that global node? I don't. I just have the one. Let's do this. Yeah, I just have the one. But why would the one signal trigger this twice? I don't think it would. But I can see that right here. Like, I'm clearly triggering effects. Unless I just have triggering. I may have used triggering effects in multiple locations. Oh, that would suck. No. Just in the one location. So then the question is, why is this function triggering twice? And it could be triggering, hold up. It could also be triggering, hold up. I think that's the case. I think it's going to each character. Which would make sense, actually. That would 100% make sense. I have no blocks. Not, saying that, hey, only this character should trigger effects. Which is probably one reason it's a problem that I'm triggering effects from the magic node itself. Huh. Yeah, why am I triggering effects from the magic node? I should be triggering effects from the battle control node. Should I just move those now? Yes. I can't think of any reason not to. Okay. I think that makes sense. I don't think it makes sense to have battle control in here at all. This is going to be some refactoring a little bit, but it's not that bad. Okay. Fun stuff. Okay, let's see. So what all do I need to take? I'll keep confirm attack, I think. Because that triggers the animation. But I think all of these get put in casting magic. Obviously none of this is going to work. But I do have the caster, I think. Active player. Passed into this state. Okay. Going to be a bit of a refactoring here, but I think this makes sense. Okay. Complete casting I'm not using yet. Oh yeah, I am. A trigger from here. While, okay, so there are a couple things here. What do I got here? I got current magic. This might get a little bit dicey. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and pull in the attack started node. Again, this is all in control. So that's good. I think I need all of these signals. Oh man, this is going to get a little bit dicey here. This is a lot. Alright, habitat complete. Attack started as a Boolean. Do I use that? I don't think I use it. Identifier character. Okay. That should be the active player. Where else am I using character? Active player. Current magic. Okay, I can do a couple things here and do some coding for intent, which makes this a lot better. Man, if all this is doing is triggering another signal, I probably don't need this here. I'll be thinking about that. I can probably get rid of that. Okay. All right. Let's do this real quick. Target. So I have target cell equals that, but really what I should do is say, yeah, really what I should do is say target. What's a good thing to do here? I'm gonna trigger effects. I mean, really target cell. I could probably make this a lot easier just by saying current magic dot target cell times will grid map size all the way through +1. I can do some vector math. I don't need to plus. Okay. Active player. Spawn emitters. Okay, I need the spawn emitters thing. This one I probably could just do. For now, I'll do this. I may end up moving it. But that, I could just call it function. Which maybe I don't. Maybe I want to send a signal to them to do that. I will end up sending a signal. For now, I'm just going to do that, though. Let's get this working, and then I'll continue to refactor. Okay. Camera shake off. That should be in control, so let me go grab those signals. I'll leave camera shake on for a second, and that's just because... Let's do this. That's because I think I trigger in a function that's in here that I need to move over. I don't want to lose sight of it. So let's see. Let's add the signal. This will be in ready, which this could probably be a global signal as well. It probably should be, actually. Yes. And then I can add that to the animation node. So let's see. Make this a global signal, add to animation nodes. Make this an action. Okay. Keep going here. Active player. Active player. I don't think I actually even used that. I'm going to turn that off. If current magic all right, what's the chance that that this works? Let me real quick before I run it, just go check and make sure I got all the signal connections from here. Confirm attack, charge magic. Okay, that's fine. All right. I think we're okay. So, yeah, I don't know what the chance is. I'm gonna say it's like something like 50-50. I mean, it's pretty close to half and half. I don't know that this is gonna work, but like I didn't actually change anything substantial. It's not as clean as it needs to be. I feel pretty good about it. The logic makes sense. So I feel decent about this working. We'll find out. I may not even get past the compile stage. Huh. Nope. Okay, so what didn't it like? Probably something super simple. Okay. Okay, I see. So that's all right. I don't need to do that anymore. So where is this? Is this in my character magic? I don't have a class name for this. This is in character magic though. Why do I not have a class name for character magic? Oh, this is a state. Ah, okay. This is my casting state. So yeah, I don't need this. I have attack complete here. Where's my attack complete here? Instead of sending the signal, I guess I could just connect it to itself for now. Okay. Is this the same thing? This is in my damage node. Let's see, attacking. Okay. So I would do the good way to do this would be export variable, and we'll say, I'll just do state control node. Player priority. I think that's the name of this state. Oh, state machine. Perfect. I'll actually just call this state machine. That way I can go grab the states from it. I don't have to worry about. Any weird. Let's go ahead and stop this so I can assign. Let's say state machine dot get node casting dot attacking. Okay. So then my state machine for damage here as well. I'm adding more, unfortunately, to when I start generating characters. More things I have to populate, but that's not too bad. All right, I feel more like 60-40 here that it's going to work. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting pretty close. We'll find out here. Man, I'm unraveling the spaghetti. Things do look a lot better. It really is going to be a lot easier to discern what's happening. Okay, state machine dot get node casting dot attacking dot connect. State machine dot get node. Oh, casting magic. I guess that's a problem. I probably shouldn't just use strings here. I probably should just link directly to the casting magic node. And that would be better, I imagine. Okay, which one is this? Particle top level. All right. Let's do the same thing here. Actually, you know what? The better way to do this, I think, is at the player level. Hold up. At the player level, do I already have? No. Let's designate my nodes here. Right here. At export state machine. State machine. Okay, and then I don't need it here. What I can do is I can say character dot state machine. Then it's interesting if I have multiple state machines full of the characters, which I don't think I'll have, but it would work, which is interesting. All right, let's see. So there's that one, and then particle top level. Class names, so helpful. Character dot state machine dot get node casting magic. Cool. Let's see how that does. Okay. Trigger label. Oh, here. Oh, interesting. Let's stop it and restart it. I mean, Cast and Magic does have attacking. So maybe it's just confused. It could just need saved. Sometimes it just doesn't. If you didn't save it, it won't reference correctly. That's fine. All right. I feel more like 70-30 now. We're getting there. Uh-oh. Teams notification. Let's see. Get node in base nil. Oh. I didn't assign a state machine. Yes, this will be better. I really should work on assigning everything at the character level, I think. Because if I assign everything at the character level, then when I generate new characters, I have my full list of things I need to populate, right? I don't have to worry about going down to like the nodes and deeper. And they're all nodes. The nodes should be, I should be able to pretty much add them. Like if I want a character that can't cast magic, just don't add a magic node. And that should work. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, we're getting close. Okay. Here's another one. Okay. The nice thing though about the signals all being in text like this is that I get these messages like this. If they were all like hard connected using the editor, I wouldn't be getting these errors. And it'd be a lot harder to go find them. Like I could go do a mass find replace, which I probably should do, but it's okay. All right, let's try this again. Oh, I got so much stuff I want to clean up and not enough time in the day to do it. All right. Okay, hey, it's running. We'll see if any spells still work. Let's try short sword. The radiant wraps of renewal. Nice. And a rod. All right. Here we go. Very good. Let's first, I'm going to try something simple. Just burning blade. I'm going into cast, so that's nice. Nice. Okay, it broke there. Almost expected. Okay, trigger effects. If not, current magic dot active magic. Ah, okay, I see. Okay, so let's see. What am I trying to say there? I think I just want if not current magic. But don't have a spell. Get out of there. I think that makes sense. Ah, okay, hold up. Vector 3i and Vector 3, okay. Easy enough. Okay, what's next? Ah, shoot. Okay. Here's what's going on. The reason I had all this spelled out that way is I was converting from a 3i to a 3. Now, I know a lot more now. Is there a way to just convert a 3 to a 3i? And vice versa? Let's see. Is there anything that has 3i? So the problem is I'm using a grid map. Yeah, it should be floating point. I'm using a grid map though, and grid map uses 3i. I mean, it's no big deal. Like it's easy. It's just so I can do a constructor. Okay, hold up. Okay, so all I really have to do is say vector 3 of this. So vector 3 of that. That should be all I have to do. Okay, cool. I don't know if my sword... Okay, that did not finish working. How far did it get? Okay, it triggered effects twice for some reason. But it's probably because I paused like halfway through, so it might have just broken. So that's okay for now. Complete casting. I'm guessing it's actually right here. Okay. And is it calculating active player? Sorry, my eye's starting to bother me. It should be looking at my particles. Looking at the collector node. Sorry, excuse me. Particle collector node, that actually might be... Is that on character? No. Nope, let's go assign that. Oh my gosh. What's going on with my eye? Wild. I've been staring at a screen too long, probably. Okay. Easy enough. Export variable particle collector node. Okay. Easy peasy, and then I can get rid of it here. Collector. Oh, interesting. Oh. Hold up, I see what's going on. Hopefully I didn't break anything there. We'll find out though. Oh, shoot. Oh, okay, I see what I did. All right, I messed up there. This needs a script. Particle. Shoot, that was the wrong script. Detach. Attach script. Up. Particle collector. That was my new one I just made, right? Hold up. I gotta go figure out what this script is named. Oh, it's my carriage. Script is what? Particle collector.gd. Okay. Why am I making a new one then? Okay. Pretty weird. I guess it's just because it's outside the scene. So let's attach a script. Should just be load. Cool, save that. And then particles, collector has it. Boom. All right. Good deal. Okay, good deal. All right, now let's go back to this and make sure, yes. And assign. See, that was good. Right there, I assigned a class to it, realized it didn't have the script attached, right? And that could have been a bug later on that really threw some wrenches in some things, right? And could have been really hard to find had I not given it a class name. So bonus points there for class name. Really avoided a future bug that I almost surely would have run into. All right, let's see how far we get now. I think class names honestly was one of the biggest impacts on my coding, which is pretty wild because it seems so basic, but it really makes a huge difference. You really don't think that adding a class name to everything, when everything has a script name and everything else, would make a huge difference. But I mean, without it, it's like, it is night and day. All right, let's see how far we can get now. Interesting that I have the rod equipped. Oh, I must have hit B. That's fine. Simple one here. Okay, doesn't like this. Active player dot spawn emitters for current magic. Oh, okay. That's because spawn emitters is in there. I probably don't even need this to be part of the player. I can probably pretty easily just take spawn emitters. Let's actually go all the way down. Yeah. Move those into my casting magic node here. That's all part of the control. Let's see what breaks. Load. Let's see. When I generate an emitter, where should that go? Right now it's under the magic. Okay, so what I would do then is I would say magic, let's see, I would have caster equals magic spell dot caster. And I would have caster dot emitter node. Okay, let me grab open emitters. Actually, that's interesting. Do I use open emitters anywhere? I actually don't think I do. Let me check in here. Open emitters. No. I like a pin to it, but I don't actually use it. I can clear it. Is true. All right. So now up here, all of this is in here now. So I don't need active player.spawn emitters. I just need spawn emitters for current magic. I don't need this because I don't think I actually use open spells either. I need to grab magic spell. Here's something that's interesting. Magic spell dot caster dot particle collector node. Okay, let me go grab this signal. From the magic node here. Camera shake. Oh, character magic. Hold up. Hold up. I screwed that up. This needs to go in along with this. Over to casting magic. I do think I want to make the camera shakes global. And then effects off is the same here. I don't think I use these. Let's make sure. Yeah, this is getting real simple, which I like. I don't think I use flash effects either, actually. I don't know if I use that. Yeah, this is getting really nice. I'm already a huge fan. Okay, I do use a confirm attack, apparently. But I should probably move that to casting magic as well. Okay. Where's confirm attack? Nowhere. All right, let's keep running it. All right. Feeling pretty good about the code now. It's getting there. Yeah, it's gonna be much easier too, I think. Because anything I want to just edit in terms of like casting magic, I just go to the casting magic control node if it's in control. It's just much better. Character dot state machine dot get node casting magic. Make sense? Node character magic. All right, let's try this again. All right. So that looks pretty good. All right. Oops. So let's see. Let's see if I can cast a spell yet. I think if I ever want to make this multiplayer too, it's gonna make it a lot easier because obviously this code will just be running on the server, and I could just pass like basically just IO over the client, which makes sense, right? I mean, but having like the character, I guess that doesn't really matter. Let's see. Caster.emitter node. So emitter node is probably on the magic. Yeah. Okay. That actually, the emitter node is the same for all of them, for all characters. It doesn't matter who your character is. So that can go in casting magic. Okay. And then I can just make this. I don't even need this really. Hold up. There's one thing though. When I attach this node, yeah, node attachment. This is the key. I don't think this is going to work because I don't think anything has. Oh, I passed the node attachment into generate. Oh, hold up. So I passed node attachment into here. Node attachment is a new node. Okay. Maybe it's fine. Let's keep it running. Let's see what happens. I don't see where it's broken. Hold on, let's try this again. Okay, that's where it attaches to the parent's particle node. So yeah, I'm actually in pretty good shape there. Not really a huge problem. I gotta sneeze. All right, we're getting really close. I'm just gonna do the short sword this time. Well, I guess I'll do the rod too. I want the rod because I want to be able to try different types of spells. Like the sword has specific types of spells. The rod has different types of spells. I'm gonna make sure all of them are working. Okay. Very good. Hold up. Ah, so close. Check for infinite recursion. Ah, okay. Interesting. Okay, triggering effects. I think it's still triggered it twice, which is interesting because we just did a lot of work to take it to a central control. So that's a little concerning. But then why did I keep going to active player? So basically I switched from active player and just kept triggering active player. Is there something in casting magic that triggers going to active player? Yes. If current magic.max priority is 0 and its current state. I believe the current state code is within the state definition. Which one is these is the state definition? Extends, that's extending state. I guess I could say class name state, right? Yeah. Okay, class name state. So current state, yeah, on enter. So when I'm exiting, it's no longer the current state. That is true. So I exit, it's no longer the current state. But for some reason, I keep going to active player over and over and over again. So is there anywhere in active player that takes me back to active player? There is not. Why would I infinitely loop to active player? Maybe it's because I'm not clearing. Okay, hold up. One thing I'm not doing is current magic equals null. Really, I should transition here. This is really only if I'm using a spell that Hold up. I have that already. I have that here. Attack complete. Okay. Attack complete. On exit. Oh, look at that. Okay, interesting. Ah, yes. That is 100% recursion. Now, why? Nope, it's not. Because, I mean, it will trigger it twice. Will it? Yes. I don't need this twice, for sure. It shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't keep doing it over and over again. I guess yeah. If I'm triggering attack complete over and over again, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Because it keeps trying to exit, and every time it tries to exit, it just triggers this again. Okay, that should fix my recursion problem. All right, let's try this again. I think we're getting really close to done with this problem that I was hoping would take the first hour. We're on hour 2. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. I did start earlier today, so. All right. I feel better. Probably like 60 to, or like 80% chance this works here. I feel pretty good about it. We're getting to the end of the sequence, so. Looks good. Okay, this isn't complete casting. Okay, so I'm essentially. Let's see. Why would current magic be null here? Because I've already triggered active player. So something triggered after active player. It's because I was sitting in. Huh. Why did it go back to active player? While I'm in the middle of this. It's like this signal got sent before this happened. Do I have anywhere else I do attack complete? Where I'm emitting attack complete? That's the only place. So attack complete or casting complete probably triggered twice. Oh, and I can see that. Effects on triggered twice. Okay, so yes, things are still triggering twice, and that's what's going on. So now everything is in one central area. Now I've got to figure out why are things triggering twice. Back to my original problem we were trying to solve in the first place. And it's actually triggering twice all the way from the animation. But I don't think I can trigger the animation twice. The two animations can't play on top of each other, right? Both were triggered by Arya. So why would the animation trigger twice? Unless within the animation function, like within the animation tree that I go through, I'm seeing this function just twice that I'm not actually seeing here. So this is with a sword. Am I actually somewhere in here in my casting sword? Do I have the function? Those are all super short. So I don't do that until spin down. And spin down, I have it here. That's once, clearly. And then I jump low. But let me check, actually. Let me check the animation tree to make sure I'm not, like, triggering that in some weird way. I do have a blend. I wonder if... Hold up. I wonder if, because of the blend, something weird is happening. This is where I do the spin down. This is where it gets triggered. And I do have actually a 1 second blend, which is pretty long. Oh, I think I go to full jump, actually. I wonder if, because of that blend, it's for some reason triggering it multiple times. Okay, if I make this blend half a second, and then I go to my... Let me make sure in full jump. Okay, good. So now in spin down. Wonder what this would look like if I start spell effects like back here. It's like a full second earlier. Let's see if that helps. All right. I don't feel like this is actually going to help much. It's kind of just a weird problem. Like, why would it run twice? Like, we can see visually the animation isn't running twice. I'm curious to watch when this populates. That might have been the problem. That time, it only hit once. So it looks like that was the problem within the blend. Now, why would they do that? I guess if it's jumping back and forth. I don't know. I have to keep function triggers, function calls out of the blend space of my animations, which I really don't like. That really seems like something that shouldn't be an issue. All right, I probably will report that bug to Godot. I mean, that's interesting. And that fixes that. Okay. Which is the original problem we were trying to fix. So, I feel pretty good about it. we got that fixed. That looks pretty good. All right. Very good. All right. So that problem is solved. Yeah, let me see real quick if there's like a quick way to send a bug. I probably have to create like a ticket, right? Report a bug. New issue. Let's see how quick this is. New issue. Bug report. Title. I know. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get much traction here. But I think I would say essentially... Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. Not going to worry about it. It's a weird problem. That's a almost for sure an engine bug. Okay, I just have to keep my function calls out of blends, which is so dumb. I feel like that would be so easy to work. Maybe I should just fix it, right? Open source. Okay. Well, I'll do that. Let's go test out the rod real quick. Oh, man. That's an error. This is going to break. Shoot. Okay, so it saved... Essentially what happened is it saved my spell. It never cleared it from the queue, which is fine. What I need to do is just clear my priority list after triggering. So this isn't the worst thing ever. All right, let me make sure that there's no more. So first off, I can get rid of this whole state machine here. Charge magic, confirm attack. I think I'm going to bring this over to the other thing. Basically, I think I already have this. Just in casting magic. What I want here, when I enter, I think I can say this. Actually, I can do this. Then there's no race condition here. Okay. So yes. That's good. And I think that lets me eliminate this function, because that function's whole purpose was to trigger this. That's good. Now charge magic. First off, I'm not using this casting thing anywhere. These are the textual change animations. I will end up getting rid of that. And I'll be replacing it with essentially expressions. But not today. I don't need this. Do I use attack target anywhere? I don't think so. Not in Magic anyway. No. Don't think I need any of those. I don't need that. I don't need these. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need those. This node's going to end up being nothing, which I like, right? I mean, that's good. Because this is all going to get replaced with an expression. In fact, for now, let's just go put this in confirm attack. So when do I trigger? Confirm.emit, yeah. Oh, not confirm attack, sorry. Confirm magic. I was wondering why that wasn't matching up. Okay. So basically when I confirm magic, go ahead and do this. And what I can do is this. Okay. Bug. Oh yeah, yeah. So this would be active player. Active player. Active player. Active player. Okay. In fact, here I can get rid of all of these, so I don't use them. I could just say, so I still need to admit that because other things are using them, but I can just say charge magic for active player, comma, cast magic, current magic selected. Okay. Let's make sure that still works. That should work though. And then essentially what that does is this is now I don't even need that. This is now nothing. Except I can use it to essentially do checks in the controller to make sure that magic is available to that character. But all the control now is within those control nodes, which is very good. This is much, 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 much simpler. I might not even need the magic node. I do think I want to be able to assign the magic node to characters. I think for the most part, everyone will be able to do magic, but we'll see. We'll see. If it's just a node that essentially is a property, I could maybe make that a property. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll just delete that node entirely. So my problem the whole time, the whole reason I refactored that entirely was that there was a glitch in the Godot engine that was essentially a if you have a blend going over a okay, that did not work. If you have a blend going over a function call, you're gonna have problems. Okay, so what didn't work. If cast magic.charge animation is this, active player.change animations. I think that should have worked. Okay, why didn't that work? Else. Okay, active player. Change animations. Did I lose mana? No, my mana did not get spent either. So that function just didn't call, potentially. Do I have anything in the debugger? Signal attacking is already connected. Okay. So I do have places that are still trying to attack. Oh, interesting. Already connected to... because there's multiple attack completes. Maybe? I'm not really sure. Not sure on that one. Maybe. I could also have it coded in here. Okay. Yeah. Not sure yet. Not sure on that one. Okay, I don't think it's a problem yet. I mean, it is a problem, obviously. But we'll figure that out. It looks like it ran it twice. Oh, duh. Okay, it is running it twice. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. That's good. Yes, and so for all of these, I don't need text to do them twice. This shouldn't break anything, right? I mean, if it tries to do it, it just won't run. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll fix that later because that shouldn't break anything. If you try assigning a connection that's already there, it should just ignore it. But why am I not going into cast is the question I'm trying to deal with today. So charge magic here is the culprit. Active player, cast magic. First off, this is a player. And this is, what is this? Current magic selected equals target magic selected. Which I think is a spell. So this is not, okay, so I'm pulling weapon type out of here, which I think is actually just the spell itself. Like this. There's weapon type on here. And charge animation. Charge animation, yeah. Weapon type, yes. So this is a magic spell. That'll help a little bit here. So basically, if charge animation's blank, change to casting this. Now, why didn't this trigger? The only thing I can think of is maybe active player was null at the time. But what I can do is I can print. No, I would have gotten I would have gotten some kind of error. Charging spell for active player. So I don't think charge magic actually occurred. So then the question, if charging magic didn't actually occur, and confirm did, I think, why would that be the case? Oh, shoot. I see what's going on. Okay. It's because I have this in two places, right? Whether I'm going to casting magic, which would be if charge time is 0, so if I'm casting immediately, or if I'm doing this. The solution is to throw that outside this if statement. Really, I need to rework some of this. Because I think I would actually confirm emit no matter what. And they're exactly the same, right? So there's no reason this shouldn't go outside of this as well. Like this. I can see, I'm imagining I'm waiting a frame because there's some sort of race condition. So let me do this. So I can probably clean that up now. I've gotten better. We've learned. Okay, that should fix that problem though. And then after this fix, if this is working, I'm probably going to call it a night. It's getting pretty late. I've been streaming a long time here today. But got a lot done. And things are looking pretty good. I managed to eliminate an entire script, basically. And I moved all of that code up into the controller, which is where it should be. And I like that. I like that a lot. I have to think about, like, do I want the modularity of those magic nodes and attack nodes and things? I think I do. But I got to think of, like, the best way to use that. Like, do I put properties related to magic, like mana and stuff in magic? Or do I leave that on my character? Probably leave it on my character, I imagine. But I could do checks to say, like, hey, does he have a magic node? But at that point, why don't I just have a variable that's like, hey, does this person know magic? Right? Which would be just as effective as a node, probably more effective. So I can think through what that looks like. And I may be able to eliminate an entire node. Yeah, so that worked pretty well, actually. That worked really well. I like the hit stop, too. There was a little hit stop whenever I triggered the spell. Ooh. Oh, look, I do use casting. Interesting. I could probably use like that. Huh. Look at that. I was thinking I did not use casting. Okay. Pretty easy here, I think. I think all I have to do is in my confirm magic here, just make active player dot casting equals true. And this is actually what I'll use to replace this whole thing with, actually. This will all get replaced with casting is true and the weapon type. So that's actually already gets me like 90% there. And then on casting magic, when I first flash the screen, I guess, wait. I guess, when do I any of these will work. Just to make sure I have the active player. So right here, I would say active player.casting equals false, which makes sense because I'm already changing raid to cast equals true. Okay. That makes sense. So let's continue. Let's see if I run into any other issues. Cool. Interesting. Cool, looks good. I do have sword effects on, but my spell is not active. That's why I'm doing so little damage. It's fine. Cool. Looks pretty good. I generated the Knife of Power. Let's look at what that is. And then I'm going to call it a night. So Knife of Power, 17 attack, 5 number of attacks. Okay. So, all right. Well, I'm going to call that a night. Overall, pretty good. Here's what we did. We managed to eliminate all of the code in this entire node and move it into the control, which really simplifies a lot of things. It simplifies a lot of the spaghetti going back and forth. I will continue to do that. I think the goal will be that all of the control for everything will be in these nodes, right? And then everything in these nodes, which I have a lot of code in these nodes, will all be related to maybe inflict, if that code inflicts something on you, right? So like maybe some of the damage ones are fine. But like most of the attack ones, these should all be in the control, right? Like taking inputs, triggering, all of that, calculating this should all be in the control. There's no reason for it to be here. So I'll continue to work on that. Otherwise, very successful stream here. Thanks for hanging out. I get a chance to raid Orbum. We're gonna go raid Orbum. Give him a Shellam H or a hey guys. Or actually ask him. Let's ask him. Hey, where's your audiobook? All right. Catch y'all in a little bit. Thanks.